Hello guys, welcome to Level Change channel. My name is Claudio Fonseca. I'm a real Boeing 777 pilot and we have a virtual ground course about the 777 going on our channel. So we already did the preliminary pre-flight procedure and today we are going to talk about the CDU initial data and the exterior inspection. As you already know as well, I can show you a couple of documents, and these documents you can download it from the links on the video description. So right now I show you one of the documents. This is the CDU initial data and exterior inspection with some notes. Use these notes for your studies and also use this page format if you want to print and you have some space on the top and at the bottom of the page for you to insert your own notes. As well, there is another version. This is the version without the notes. So this is like the standard procedure that we have in the airplane, and this one you can print as well, just to follow the sequence a couple of times, 1, 2, 3, 4 times, as many times you need to memorize this procedure and to perform your flight. Okay, as well, we are going to use one flight plan that we create via a sim brief, and this is the first one that I show you with the new navigation data, the updated navigation data. Actually, the only change is that the arrival in Milan is not received 2 echo anymore, it's received 3 echo. There is a new approach, or better, a new arrival into Milan Malpensa. That's the only change. Okay, so today we go with the CDU initial data and exterior inspection. Couple of things that I want you to know before we start this CDU initial data and exterior inspection, that this procedure, they are divided in pilot flying and pilot monitoring. It's not captain and first officer anymore. It's the pilot that's going to fly the plane and the pilot that is going to monitor the flight. Okay, so it doesn't matter if the pilot flying is on the left or on the right seat. Okay, you have actions based on your duty in flight. Okay, so let's assume today that the captain is the pilot flying. So the captain starts the CDU initial data after the preliminary pre-flight procedure. And below here we have the CDU initial data. But I'm going to show you what is the CDU. So we are now inside the plane again, and we have 3 CDUs on the 777. One here on the left side, one here on the right side, and one here in the center on the pedestal. Okay, I'm going to pop up this, and CDU means control display unit. So this is one of our control display unit, and we are going to mainly use the FMC function, the flight management computer function. Okay, so let's start the procedure. CDU initial data says that on the ident page we have to set. How we set the ident page? A couple of things that we have to do. We have to verify that the model is correct. We have to verify that engine rating is correct. And then we have to verify the navigation database active data range is current. And then we verify the drag factor and the fuel flow factor is correct. There is a note here. So if we need to change the drag factor or the fuel flow factor, there is a drag and fuel flow manual entry supplementary procedure. I'm going to show the supplementary procedure only to channel members level 2 and level 3. But don't worry, this is not going to affect your flight if you don't know how to do it, okay? So we start then with this procedure. First thing I want you to notice is that when we open the FMC, when we come from the menu and we open the FMC for the first time, it's going to come to the ident page, okay? We have a message here to enter inertial position. We are going to do that later. I'm going to clear this message. But if you are at any other page, like let's say you are on the legs page or you are in the VNAV page and you want to go to init position page, just press init ref. So when you press init ref, you have an index and then you go to the ident page. Okay, so at any point when you have the index, okay, you select ident page. If you don't see the index for some reason, first come to the initial reference button and then go to index ident. And then we checked. The model is correct. We have a 777-300ER, and the engine is also correct. We have G90115BL. The next one we have to check is the active database. I'm recording this video on the 29th of January 22. This is already, yes, it's 29 January 22 in Australia. I'm in Brisbane right now, so it's already the 28th or the 29th of January. So the database is correct, even though we are simulating our flight 20 September 21, my birthday. Okay. But we always use the most current active database. In the real airplane, there is another database on the bottom here, and we can switch between the active and the non-active one. If that was the case in the sim, I could keep the 20 September database and change between the active one and that one, as we can do in the real airplane. But on the PMDG, we only have space to the active database. Okay, so you make sure the active database is current. And then you have the drag and fuel flow factor. Okay, this drag and fuel flow factor is 0. Usually it's 0. If you don't know how to change, don't worry, keep it 0 and will be no issue. Anyway, for our flight today, our number should be plus 0.7. Okay, so this is the cruise degradation. This is the amount of degradation that we have to include here in the drag, in this case in the fuel flow factor. Okay, I'm going to show you this to our members level 2 and level 3, so don't worry. Coming back to the procedure, then we go to I'm just changing the color here. We go to the position init page and we set the position init page. Okay, what we have to do to set the position init page, we have to enter the current airport as reference airport. We verify that the time is correct, and then we enter the present position on the set inertial position. And that is a note for that. It says use the most accurate latitude and longitude for that. Okay, so again, you can see the airplane and how we go to the position initial page. There is a prompt here on the right button, pause init. Okay, you only press this button, it goes to the pause init page. If you don't know, if you are somewhere else in the FMC, again, any page, you just press initial reference. On the ground, it should bring you to the position initialization page when this position initialization page is not complete. Okay, anyway, if you don't find, you always have the index and then POS is the position initialization. So we have to enter the departure airport, Lima Fox Papa Golf, as reference airport, and this is the airport reference latitude and longitude. Okay, we don't enter the gate, but if you enter the gate, you have a refined position for this gate. Okay, this is the main position of the airport, or the reference position for the airport, and if you enter the gate, you will have the reference position for the gate itself in that airport. We usually don't do that. The next thing we go is we check that the UTC time is correct. Now it's 7:45 on the 20 September 2021, the day that we are simulating this flight. Why we don't refine the reference airport to the gate position? Because we have a valid GPS position. We know it's valid because we have the latitude and the longitude, and we also have the correct time, and this time is coming from the satellite, so the GPS position is correct. So we are going to set the inertial position based on the GPS position, so we don't need to refine the reference airport and the gate position because the GPS position is the most accurate one. So we just punch on the right side here of the GPS position. When we press this button, it copies the latitude and longitude to the scratch pad, and then we use this latitude and longitude on the set inertial position. As we do it, we have our inertial position set, and the alignment is complete if the time for the alignment has elapsed so far. Okay, so that's the position initialization page. Next thing we have to do, we go then to the route page, and we set the route page. First thing that we do, for all the cases, we enter the origin and the destination. Okay, so we are going to do that very soon. And then we have an option here, if data link is available. I will consider data link not available today, and I will show members level 2 and 3 how to deal with this when the data link is available. So this is not applicable, because this is only applicable if you have data link available. What is applicable for us today is if data link is not available. Okay, so data link is not available, and then again, if company route is available, company route I'm not going to show you as well. I'm going to show only for the channel members level 3. I'm going to explain what is a company route, how it works, and how to deal with it. So again, this is not valid for us, but don't worry. In any case, even if you have data link and if you have a company route available, you can apply the next step, which is, I'm going to set in green, if company route is not available. So in this case, we don't have the data link, we don't have the company route, so we are going to enter the route manually, and that's what I'm going to do with you. So to do that, we have to enter the route and the ATC call sign as flight number, and then we activate and execute the route. The route today is Bubbly, Upper Golf 42 Luval, Upper November 491 to Begar, Lima 15 to Ripus, and then November 850 to Degad, Zulu 424 to Rishuv. This here, Basgo Zulu 424, note is the same airway, Zulu 424. This is only here because of this level change, so we don't have to enter this part of the route. What I'm going to enter with you is the route in yellow then, so we can do it now. As well, how can you go to the route page? There is a prompt on the right on the position issue page. You just press it, you go to the route page. If you don't have, if you are at any other page, just go to the second button on your FMC. RTA is route. Okay, so we have route 1. We enter origin, Lima, Fox, Papa Golf, and we enter the destination, Lima, India, Mike, Charlie. And then we go to the next page and we enter the route as Bubbly. So via nothing, we start it to Bubbly. And then we have Upper Golf 42. Upper Golf 42 goes until position Luval. So Luval. Okay. And then Upper November 491, Upper November 491, and we set here. I'm only want to make sure in this you can see my mouse. Just give me a minute. Okay, yeah, it should be working. You should be seeing my mouse. So okay, and then we go to this Upper November 491 goes to position Begar, but on the 777 we don't have to write the position that intersect both airways. The next airway is Lima 15. So when we punch Upper November 491 and Lima 15, the FMC automatically inserts the point that intersect both airways. Okay, so if you want to write Upper November 491 to Begar and then Lima 15, it's okay. But if you also want to insert Upper November 491 and then Lima 15, the FMC will bring the position that intersect both airways to you. So the next airway we have is November 850. Again, November 850. I don't have to enter the position. I just confirm that the position is correct. Ripus, November 850. And then we go to Zulu 424. Zulu 424, it accepted, and we come back and we check that Degad was the point that intersect both airways. And then the last one is this airway, Zulu 424, it goes to position reshuv. Okay, so now we have all the route. We go to the next page, we enter our ATC call sign KLM5 Charlie Foxtrot today as flight number, and then we activate and we execute this route. Okay, so this is done, and we go now to departures and arrival page, and we set it. How we set this? We select the cleared, expected or planned runway and departure routing, and then we execute the route modifications. Then we select the expected or planned approach and arrival routing, and again we execute the route modifications. So we are going to do right now. So we go to departure and arrival. You don't have a prompt here to go to departure arrival, so you have to come to the third button of your FMC, departure and arrival, and it will open on your origin departures, Lima Fox Papa Golf departures. If you don't see that, you always have one index page as well, and then you have your origin and your destination airport. And for the origin, you have the option for departure, arrival, and for your destination only for arrival. So we want to set one departure from Lima Fox Papa Golf. We are going to depart, as we discussed in the preliminary pre-flight, most probably runway 26 right, and our departure is Bubbly 5, let me make sure, 5 Bravo. Okay, so Bubbly 5 Bravo is the departure. There is no transition, and we execute. Then we go again to departure, arrival, Lima India Mike Charlie is our destination, arrival, and we set ILS Zulu 35 right, transition is inlet, and our arrival is the reshuv 3 echo. Okay, so we have the arrival and we have the ILS with the transition, and we execute this page as well. Next step that we have, we go to the legs page. Okay, so we go to the legs page and we set the legs page. What we do on the legs page? First thing is we verify the legs page as needed to ensure compliance with procedure constraints and remove discontinuity as needed. Okay, if you have time now, you can open the chart and also verify all constraints if everything is correct. Okay, so that's the first step for us, and we are going to do it now. So we go to the legs page. First thing that I want to notice is that if we have any route discontinuity, no, all good so far. And another thing we can do it, we can come here to the terminal charts. So we use from the FMC, and in Paris we go to the departures, and we have Bubbly 5 Bravo. Let me find Bubbly 5 Bravo. That's the departure that we want. So this is Bubbly 5 Bravo. Couple of things that we want to check here is that our waypoints, they match. So we have Papa Golf 263, then Papa Golf 264, 265, Piver, CLM. After CLM, we have Becos, and should be Baxir Bubbly. Note that we have from Becos straight to Bubbly, so we are mixing Baxir, this point here, so we add Baxir. That's why we cross-check everything. So Becos, Baxir, Bubbly. And then we make sure from Becos to Baxir is 13 miles, 12.8 makes sense. And then from Baxir to Bubbly is 11 miles, 11.2 makes sense. We can execute this route modification as well. Another thing that you can do it now in the real plane. Once you select this departure, most probably the transition altitude is changed to the correct one, so you can come to VNAV page and change on your simulator to the correct transition altitude if it's not done automatically like on the PMDG. In the PMDG, it doesn't change it automatically, so you have to do it manually now, or you can do later on while you are briefing. just a heads up for you. Okay, but that's not really needed to change right now, only a heads up for you. Next step that we do, we are still on the legs page, and then we select route data. When we select route data, we make a wind request, and then when wind data uplink is ready, we select and load. We select load and we execute the modifications. And there is also a note here if data link is not available. Okay, if data link is not available, we manually enter the average wind and initial cruise level temperature. Okay, so I'm going to show how to enter the manual winds and cruise level temperature for the channel members level 2 and level 3 in a different video. Okay, and that is also a note, second note, until wind data is loaded and refueling is complete, FMC message insufficient fuel message can show. Okay, it's not going to show right now because we still don't have the weight, but once we have the weight and we don't have the correct amount of fuel, or we don't have the correct wind and cruise level temperature, we may have the message insufficient fuel as well. Just a heads up for you. So what we do now, we are on the legs page, we select route data and we make a wind data request. It shows requesting, and in a couple of seconds we'll have it done, and then it says sent. Our wind request was sent, and eventually we are going to have a new message that says wind data uplink ready. So when it's ready, we press load, and now we have the wind for all the points along our route. Okay, so we execute this, and there is also a message descent forecast uplink ready. If you get this message, okay, it's not all system that will give you the descent forecast right now, but if you get this message, you can go to the VNAV third page on the descent forecast and you can load, or the easiest way to do it, if you are at any page, you just come to the FMC.com and there is a descent forecast uplink here ready for you to click and load. So now you already loaded the winds for your descent as well. Okay, so that's it. That's what we have to do right now. And now the next and one of the last things we do, we go to the progress pages and we verify two things on the progress pages. First, we verify the distance to destination against the flight plan ground distance for gross error check. And then we also verify the correct RNP for departure. Okay, so the distance that we are looking for, I'm going to set here in green. So we are looking for a ground distance of 487 miles. Okay, then we go to the FMC, we go to the progs page and we go to the destination, Lima India Mike Charlie, it's showing 485 against 487, it's good enough. Okay, so we have the correct route there. As well, we go to the RNP progress, is the progress page 4 out of 4, and we check our actual navigation performance and the required one. The required 1.0, this is the one required for this departure. You can check the RNP and the ANP also on your navigation display. It's always in the bottom here, RNP1 and ANP 0.05. Next step that we have is the route 2, and we set the route 2. So to set the route 2, what we have to do, we copy the route 1 and then we modify as required in anticipation to runway change and or as needed for contingency procedure. I'm going to show you today some contingency procedure. We go to the route page and we make a route copy. Before making a route copy, I want to show you route page 2 here on the bottom left. So it's blank, everything is blank. Okay, so when we go to route 1 and we copy route, when we go to route page 2 now, to route 2 page 1, we are going to see that everything we made was copied to the route 1. Okay, so one thing that I'm going to do now, I'm going to change this to I will set it to plan, and then we go on the legs page, and now you can see that this is our even one before. So this is our departure. Okay, as you can see, it goes to CLM and then it continue to the bubbly transition. But in case we need to come back, okay, I'm going to modify this route. Instead of continue on the SID, if something happens on the departure and we need to come back, I'm going to select the same runway that we are departing as a arrival runway. So I go to departure arrival on the route to from Paris Charles de Gaulle, one arrival, and I'm going to select the ILS for runway 26 right. As you can see, now we have the ILS runway 26 right, but we have all the routes. So I go to the legs page and I will copy the final fix for runway 26 right, in this case the Charlie Fox 26 right, and I'm going to set after Charlie Lima Mike. So next page again, and we are going to set to Charlie Lima Mike. So as you can see, instead of continuing towards the SID, which is our active route, the magenta one, we have the blue dashed line. So if we activate the route 2 from Charlie Lima Mike, it goes to Charlie Fox 26 right. Okay, so one thing that I want to show you as well is that we don't press activate and execute. If we press activate and execute, we are going to activate the route 2. So we just modify the route 2, and then if we need, we activate when we need. Okay, so you don't have to activate and execute at this point. So the route 2 is changed in case we need to come back. The last thing that we do, we go to the nav radio page and we set the nav radio page. So to do that, we tune the navigation radio as needed. Usually it's not needed to tune the navigation radios, but it's always good to come to the nav radio page and to see what is auto-tuned by the airplane, and if you have anything pre-selected, or if you want to pre-select something, or if you want to make a hard selection. For the VORs, there are a couple of information that I want to show you right now. Right now is VOR left is tuned to the frequency 112.9, which is Charlie Lima Mike, is this VOR that you can see here. And between the frequency and the VOR identified, we have a P. That means it's procedure. It was auto-tuned by the FMC based on the procedure. As we select on route 1 the Bubbly 5 Bravo departure, okay, the FMC already knows that on this departure there is a VOR, so this is the VOR selected because of the procedure. If we change, okay, and I'm going to show you, like if we change to Papa Golf Sierra, okay, we can set Papa Golf Sierra and put on the left side. As you can see, we have the correct frequency 117.05. Papa Golf Sierra is identified, but we have a M. M is manual entry, okay? So usually we don't want any manual entry. That's one thing that you are going to check as well. And other data that you can have instead of P for procedure, M for manual. You can also have A, whether A when it's auto tuning, and you can also have R, which is auto tuned but for the route. Okay, this is P is auto tune for the departure or arrival procedure, and if you have auto tune along the route, it will show you an R. Okay, so these are the options. P for procedure, you can have A for auto tuning, you can have R for auto tuning on route, and you can also have M for manually tuned. Okay, so what we make sure right now for the departure is that we don't have anything manually enter, because once you manually enter something, it's not going to auto tune any other thing. Okay, so we make sure we don't have any manual entry here. If you want, for example, you can leave Papa Golf Sierra as pre-select. Okay, and then once you need in flight for some reason, you just copy Papa Golf Sierra and then you punch wherever you want. Okay, I don't want, in this case I'm going to delete this pre-select as well. So this is basically your CDU initial data. Okay, so we finished the CDU initial data. While one pilot was doing the CDU initial data, the other pilot was performing the exterior inspection, and as well performed exterior inspection after the preliminary pre-flight procedure. So in this case, the pilot monitoring is going to do the exterior inspection, and we just have a couple of notes that before each flight, okay, the captain or the first officer, this is important, or, so in this case, for our standard procedures, we take the pilot monitoring, it can be the captain or the first officer, to verify that the airplane is satisfactory for the flight. Items at each location may be checked in any sequence, and then we check that the surface and the structures are clear, not damaged, not missing parts, and there are no fluid leaks. The tires are not too worn, not damaged, and there is no tread separation. The gear struts are not fully compressed. The engine inlets and tail pipes are clear. The access panels are secured. The exterior is not damaged, and the reverses are stowed. This is for the engine. The doors and access panels that are not in use, they are latched. Okay, of course, if you have doors and panels that are in use, they don't need to be latched right now. We also check the probe vents and static ports are clear and not damaged. The skin area adjacent to the pitot probes and static ports is not wrinkled, and the antennas are not damaged. The light lenses are clean and not damaged as well. There is a note for cold weather operations. We see the supplementary procedure, and I bring you down here the route for your exterior inspection. Always starting from, if you have the option, from the forward door on the left side. If you don't have this option, you can get out from any door, and then you come to this point where it starts, and this is your route, including going around the nose gear. Okay, checking the fuselage on the left, going below the plane, and then you check the engine all around. You check all the the right wing, and then you go to the right main gear, all around the right main gear, outside the plane to check the right fuselage, and to check the right horizontal stabilizer, and even the vertical stabilizer on the right side, and then the tail, and you do the same thing on the other side. Okay, including the main left gear, the left wing, the left engine. Again, below here, you are going to check as well the pressurization and air conditioning packs, exhaust. So this is the route for you to do the exterior walk around on the Boeing 777, and you can use this route on all Boeings. Of course, if you are flying the 747, you have extra gear to take care of it. Okay, so you do like this, you do the exterior inspection, and then once you finish the exterior inspection, you come back and you verify the pilot flying CDU entries. So one pilot will make the CDU entries, the other pilot will be doing the exterior inspection. Once it comes back, most probably the CDU entries are complete, and then you can check the CDU entries from the pilot flying, just to make sure he fill up everything and there is no errors on his preparation. Okay, that's it. That's the CDU, initial data, and exterior inspection. I hope you are enjoying this virtual ground course. We already talked about the electrical power up, the preliminary pre-flight procedure, and today we discussed the CDU, initial data, and exterior inspection. Thank you so much, guys, and I hope to see you next time in our level change channel. Please subscribe to channel, become a member if you can, and also like the videos. Hit the like button if you learn anything new today. Thank you so much and see you next time. Bye bye.